Okay, so we have another mystery writer coming up, and she's been on the show before a couple of years ago again. So, um, but she has a series, and all of her books in this particular series uh, have one word titles. And so we welcome back Tracy Clark to Black Authors Matter TV. Oh, unmute. There you go.
Hey, glad to
How
be
are,
here.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Wonderful.
Doing great. Now I have the new book. Uh, it's called Edge,
Uh-huh.
and the first one, well, was Hyde the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, I read Hyde, and then one of them was Echo.
Uh-huh.
Was that two or three?
That was three.
Okay, three was Echo, and what
Hmm.
was book two was
Number two was fall.
Fall. Okay, so I read Hyde. I didn't get to read the others, and so my question is, with this new book, do I have to read the other two before I read this
You don't have to. They sort of stand alone as the cases. The cases are different. The cops are the same. Her
one?
team is
Okay.
the same. Harriet's the same. She's just further along in her journey. So you don't so she sort of makes a little adjustment in book three and two. So you can sort of pick up at four. You won't miss that
Okay.
much.
Lost is what you're saying.
Yeah. Just jump in whenever you want. They sort of stand alone, and but I always sort of strike the stop at the start at the beginning when I sort of read a series, so you can sort of see the character as they sort of go along. But
Yeah,
do
I do
you?
too. I do too. I don't like to read them out of order, and I don't like to skip. So I'm just really answering my own question. So, so go ahead.
Whatever makes you happy. Whatever.
Now, for those who didn't get to see your interview previously, because you had such an interesting background about how you got started with writing, and you write crime fiction,
Mhm.
and but it took you a long time to get published. So, just as an update to the audience who may not have seen your previous interview, which has been 2 or 3 years ago, uh, just give us a little background on Tracy Clark.
Well, I am a overnight success that took over 20 years. Um, I just kept writing. I mean, this is a tough business. I'm not gonna lie to you. The writers out there know it. And you just have to sort of keep going until your shot comes. And it took my shot more than 20 years. I just kept writing and writing and getting rejected and writing again and sort of moving things around and trying to teach myself the things that I didn't know. And so that's how long it took. I don't regret the 20 years because I was learning the whole time. I was getting better at it the whole time, but it can be frustrating. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, there were t points along that 20 years where I said, well, this is not going to happen for me. I'm just going to put it here and just continue with my day job, and that's going to be it. But there was just something in me that would not let it go. And I don't know if that was stubbornness or pigheadedness or just I don't know what it was, but I just could not let them have it. I sort of had the feeling that I had something if I could just sort of figure out how to do it the right way. And so I just kept at it and kept at it, and it took more than 20 years. And now here I am on book, what, nine? I just handed the ninth book in. Seems to be doing okay, knock wood.
Wonderful.
And so I'm gonna keep writing until they tell me to stop.
A great
Okay.
story, and it's a great inspiration for somebody who is probably in their own struggle process. What
Yeah,
what was that feeling that you had that pulled you back? I mean, were you sitting at your day job and a feeling hit you like I really wish I were writing right now, or did something hit you like, oh, I should write that down? What was it?
you're absolutely right. I was sitting at my day job and quite satisfied with it. It's not a bad job, but there was always this feeling in the back of my head that I was wasting time, that I was letting time go by, that I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing. And that was the writing. And in fact, after that maybe millionth rejection letter, I actually put the manuscripts in my drawer and I locked the drawer. And that's where it stayed for 2 years. But all through that 2 years, there was something in the back of my head and in my chest that said, you are wasting time. This is what you should be doing. Get it out of the drawer, start again, and keep going. And that's what I did. And then in the Hallmark movie, that's where, that breakout moment comes. You take the thing out of the drawer, and out miraculously you get your agent and your book deal and everything. It took another 2, 3 years. All right, after the manuscript was out of the drawer, after that 2 years where I didn't touch it, it took 2 or 3 more years before I actually had an agent that said, "I would like to represent you." And that it was a I'm not it was a struggle. And I got frustrated at times. But I couldn't let it go because I thought I had something. I thought I was saying something on the pages. I wanted these characters out there in the world. And so I just kept going like the Energizer Bunny, and I just kept doing it.
Yeah, determination separates the wheat from the chaff. Or, they used to say the men from the boys or the women from the girls. Determination gets a lot of people success
Yeah.
because most people quit.
They do because it's a hard thing. I mean, this
Yeah.
is your baby, right? This is your heart. And when people say they don't want it, I mean, that sort of knocks you back a little bit, but I had those inspirations out there ahead of me. Eleanor Taylor Bland, Valerie Wilson Wesley. I mean, these are people who I sort of looked to and read because those were the examples. And so I figured, well, they can do it. They've done it. They stuck in there and got it. I can do it too. And so I just kept going.
Now, what made you settle on crime fiction as your genre?
Well, I tried other things, as most writers do, but other stories, people always turned up dead. And I figured my thing was, sounds like it's going to be crime, because that sort of interested me. Not only the fact that it's sort of like a morality play, good versus evil, but you're trying to, as a writer, I think, understand why people are motivated to do horrible things. And I think that's basically what I'm sort of writing about every book that I write. Why did this happen? What impact does this have on the community and on cops and people who live in the neighborhoods? Crime sort of hits different in different areas, and meaning of justice is different in different areas. What may be just for you might not be just for the next person. And so I'm sort of reading those things out as I'm writing the cases that they're sort of trying to solve, but it's always about character. It's always about community. It's always about the world that we live in and how everybody fits into it. And so that's what I'm sort of struggling with for each book. Um, and sort of so far, I've been pretty lucky about it, and I'm gonna keep going until probably until I drop dead.
I often talk about when I talk about villains, I've always said I like Marvel comic villains because they're they're not villains depending on who's looking at them. How do you shape your villains? Are they villains no matter who's looking at them, or are they villains with kind of a good purpose or a good purpose in their eyes, so to speak? How do you kind of craft
Mhm.
them?
I craft them as regular people because they don't see themselves as villains. They're
Right,
just working with the motivations that they have internally, however they were raised, what trauma they sort of experienced. Can be sort of twisted, but they're twisted in their own unique way. And they're sort of working their lives out as they see fit, and it may or may not fit with what society considers civilized or normal or lawful. And so I take it down to the character level. These villains, these bad guys, are not bad guys in their eyes. Okay, they're living their lives, they're doing their thing. This is what they need to do to sort of get by. And it's antisocial. It's something that civilized society does not accept. And that's the sort of play that I sort of work with it. So villain here doesn't consider himself one. Cops do, society does, the neighborhood does, because they're preying on innocent people. And so
right.
those two things have to come together in some kind of way. and there has to be some kind of resolution at the end. We don't always get it in real life. In fact, most of the times we don't. Um, Terrible things happen to people, and there are no solutions. There are no easy answers. In a book, you can sort of tie it up a little bit, try to make some sense of it, try to sort of, sort of figure out what's going on and why. But you don't get that resolution in real life, unfortunately.
That is true. Things don't always get like wrapped up,
Right.
where it's like with an ending at all. Sometimes some things are open ended in
Right,
real life.
exactly. Yeah.
They never really get truly resolved. Sometimes we have to just move on, from whatever it is,
Yeah, yeah. And
depending on
accept.
what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I can't remember if I asked you this before. Did you have a legal background, criminal justice background?
Nope, I don't.
No?
My background was in journalism and communications, and that's what I sort of have this sort of other life in my head, these voices.
Okay.
And but crime always sort of interested me for those reasons. What would motivate somebody to do something this horrendous? To take a life is a very important thing you've done, right? I mean, you've taken somebody's kid, somebody's wife, somebody's husband, somebody's child, I mean, that's a how do you come back from that? So I'm always asking myself why, how, what motivates this, what kind of person does something like this. So that's what I write about. It might be about the case, it might be about the cops, but it's also about that eternal question, what makes us human? What makes people do inhuman things? And so I'm always wrestling with that. And I sort of find cases that I can write about that sort of I can fictionalize. But that's the question that sort of as the underbelly of it. What are we doing? What are we doing to the people to each other?
Yeah, I think I connect with you there because I'm always that person who wants to know what somebody's motivation is.
Hmm.
I even if they're totally evil, like what made them that way? I mean, I don't believe anybody was just born evil. Like what was that one thing that got them to that point? I'm
Yeah.
always I guess that's why I like watching movies of those true movies about serial killers. I mean,
Hmm.
not that I want to watch the blood and gore. I always want to know what was that history behind that person? Why did they grow up the way they did? Or
Hmm.
what made them like they are? And sometimes like, wow, now I see why they turned out the way they did because they had kind of a crazy childhood,
Yep, that's exactly it. That's the stuff that I'm looking at. I mean, we just didn't come fully formed as adults. We were
Mhm.
children first. We were babies and toddlers and children. And something happened along the way
Right.
that either sort of put you in a different direction or twisted your innocence in a different way. And so that you sort of end up as an adult who cannot function correctly in the world that you live in. And so that's where the twist becomes. And that's where they sort of do things that they should not be doing, killing people they should not be. I mean, people do all kinds of horrendous things for a million reasons. Drive-by shootings. I mean, who does that? I mean, you're just shooting indiscriminately down the street. You don't know who's on the street. They don't care. What makes you not care? And so I'm writing about that. What happened to you that caring is not something that is a basic emotion that you have. And so I'm sort of wrestling with that every book. It's about the case, like I said, but it's also not about the case. It's about the people.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm um, and this is just my personal assessment, just being so many years on this earth. Some people, as babies or as children, they didn't get enough hugs. You know, it's not, some people think things are always about money and materialism or material things. And children need hugs. They
Hmm.
need love. They need to know that their parents are unconditionally there. And some kids have the misfortune of being born to parents don't, that are self-obsessed. They really, and when you're a parent, if you're a hands-on parent, active parent, it's really the opportunity for you to put somebody ahead of yourself.
Hmm.
Because normally a mother and a father, but a mother, will jump out in front of a bus to protect her kid, you
Hmm.
know. So some children though, and we see them on the news, or sometimes now you see them on TikTok or whatever. People are posting videos of children that are 3 years old, walking in the neighborhood with no shoes and wearing a diaper. It's an uncaring. And I'll say a mother. If you don't have a mother that really wants to be your mother,
Hmm.
that's tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
You're
know,
absolutely right.
and some people just never. The prisons are full of people like that
Hmm.
because, and it's unfortunate. It's just really a shame.
Yep.
But that's sometimes the mind of a criminal is they weren't loved, and so they're acting out that
Hmm.
being unloved.
Or the opposite could be true. They could have everything. They could have everything. They could have that mother. They could
Okay.
have
Who
affluence.
dotes on them? Who
Uh-huh. And
the
then
mother? Okay,
absolutely turn out the wrong way too. So there's no
that
rhyme
is
or re
true.
there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just I don't know what it's an
That is
individual
true.
sort of thing.
It is.
Um, I don't
But
know.
some of those kind of people had a lot of materialism,
Mm-hmm.
but no discipline.
Yep.
And a lot of times in those situations, the parents aren't hands on because they hand their kids off to a
Yeah.
therapist or a nanny or somebody else.
Yep. Yep.
They're not
Yep.
really in there,
Absolutely.
raising them themselves. So, but now I think Rhonda watches crime fiction, true crime. I know my sister does, but
I mean, I
I
don't watch it regular. Don't get me wrong. I don't watch it regularly. I mean, I
okay,
used to watch For Is Love, or the TV show that used to come on,
yeah,
I think TV1, where the
I
woman
saw.
would kill so she can be with the man that she loved. I had to stop watching that. Because it
I
was
saw one episode when I was getting my hair done. It's not the kind of show I watch, but I'm in a chair in front of the TV. I can't move, so I'm forced. My
Captive audience.
style, I'm forced to watch it, and I'm like, oh, who does this?
it was I had to stop watching it because it was disturbing that these were
Yeah,
true
they were real
stories
people.
of people who actually killed just for the sake of having some person who
Yeah.
they were going to be with. Because most times the guy that they
Couldn't care
killed
less.
or turned on them.
Yeah, yeah, he
No,
couldn't care less.
right.
He's about
So,
himself.
I had to stop watching it. But I'm just saying, to me, like when I watch these movies, like I watched the Menendez brothers movie and I watched the Jeffrey Dahmer movie because those were cases that I remembered growing up. And I always wondered why in the world did they do what they did? What in their life made them turn out the way they did? And so I wanted to watch those movies. Um, but there I think what was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I didn't want to watch the massacres. I didn't want to watch the killings. I
Hmm.
wanted to really see the history behind what made them turn out the way they did. I could almost turn when they started the killing part, but I just
Yeah, the
needed.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I saw it as a at a drive-in movie that was next to a wooded area. It was scary because the whole thing took place in the woods. I was scared. It was That was a scary movie. I don't know about the remake because I only saw the original once, and I didn't want to see any more of it. But yeah, you just never. And I didn't want to see Jeffrey Dahmer. Just the whole thing was creepy to me. Just the idea of him being doing the stuff he did. It was just some stuff I can't watch. I don't really like true crime. I like a scripted crime show, like with law enforcement or like I just finished watching. I just finished binging um the Mayans. So I love Sons of Anarchy. I don't know if y'all ever saw Sons of Anarchy.
Mm.
Excellent show. It was about a motorcycle club and stuff, the crimes and stuff they had to do, their personal relationships, the things they had to do to survive. But it was a lot of personal relationships. It's really well written and scripted, and the acting, the casting, everything was perfect. So they were friends with a Mexican bicycle club or motorcycle club called the Mayans. And so they did a series, a follow on called the Mayans motorcycle. So I just finished binging it. It's just really, really, really good stuff. But they did a lot of crime. You know, they were criminals, but they were really a bicycle club that used crime to finance their lifestyles. And it could be running guns, it could be drugs, a lot of killing because it's competitive and you have to, somebody's always undermining them, betrayal, a lot of betrayal and things like that. But anyway, I'd rather watch a scripted crime show. Like I watch FBI. It's not as good as it used to be, but I watch that. Um, I like, I like, I used to like Law and Order, but not like over the years it got weird to me. But um, I like that. But the true crime, no, it's not for me. But your crime fiction is almost like true crime, like the true crime shows.
Mm. Well, I
Just
try.
yeah, I mean, you do a really good job of.
People are really, people are really, people want to read them. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
looking at your reviews. You have almost 1,800 reviews on your book four.
Hmm.
Um, I was looking at even in the comments, Tony Bonita says she's read all four of your
Oh,
books.
yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
so
Well, thank you.
yes. So right now, the people are being satiated. Like you're satiating people's thirst for these books.
Well, I would like to hope that they're interested in Harriet because she's an interesting character. When we meet her in the first book, she's really at a low point and she's lost almost everything. And so during the course of this series, she's gotten a little better, but when she meet her in book four, she's at the point where she can go no further. She has stuffed down so much stuff and not dealt with it that she has no more room for anything else and she can't stuff anything else in. And so now she's at the edge of where she needs to be. She has to make a move. She has to do something that's going to help herself.
Okay.
So
And
her,
thus the title
yeah,
is.
edge, yes. And so it's the name of the toxic drug that they're trying to find on the street, but it's also about her too. Her boss has mandated that she get herself some therapy. Get herself some therapy or don't come back. And if she doesn't come back, she has nothing else. She has just the job. She has nothing at her house. So
Okay.
if she doesn't come back here, where does she go? And so now we have to go through the whole psychological thing and try to unravel all of this trauma that she sort of experienced. So that's what Edge is about. I don't know where we'll find her in book five. Hopefully she'll be in a better place than this, but you have to sort of change characters as the series goes along. And
Hmm.
she's made some, monumental, nominal changes. She's sort of shifted a little bit. She's not great, but she's better than she was. And that's like most human beings. I mean, we don't make monumental changes. We sort of make little creepy changes as we go along, one step forward, two step back. That's life. Things happen that are successful, and then we have, on the other hand, stuff that doesn't go well, and we have to deal with that. And so I try to make her as human as I can possibly make her, as sort of authentic as I can make her, emotional wise. And so I think that's what readers are sort of pinging on. I think they like Harriet and they want to stick around to make sure that she is okay and she sort of finds her way. At least I hope that's what it is. At least that's what I'm sticking around for. I want her to be good. I want her to be whole.
So her
Okay. Now,
storyline
see, now I
is
have to read two and
as
three
the
now.
storyline of the mystery she's trying to solve.
Yes, yeah. So she's going along as the case goes along. Um, People are dropping dead in the streets of Chicago because somebody has put out a toxic drug. It's taking all
Okay.
people from all neighborhoods, not just the poor neighborhoods where you expect it or where society expects it, but people over here on the north side, people in the suburbs are dying, and they have to figure out who's putting this drug out there, why they're doing it, and to get it to stop. And so, in the midst of that, Harriet has to fix herself. She has to find her therapist and she has to sit in that tiny little room with this psychiatrist and talk about all of the stuff that she does not want to talk about. And those scenes were really difficult to write for me because nobody's talking in this room. The psychiatrist is waiting for Harriet to talk, and Harriet is sitting over there not talking. And so having to write a scene like that when nobody's saying anything is sort of a delicate dance because somebody's got to fake the first move.
You had
Um,
to really draw, you had to really draw in
man,
imagination
yep.
on that.
Don't I? I mean, it's that's what makes it so hard for me. And I have to make sure that the psychiatrist is the right kind of psychiatrist because she would not talk to anybody. Harriet would sit in that room for 50 minutes and not open her mouth if I did not give her a psychiatrist that she could sort of deal with. So I would have given her is an African American woman, an ex-cop who was sort of injured in the line of duty, who went back to school and became a psychiatrist. And now here is that person in the room sitting in this chair. Harriet is sitting in the other chair facing her, and now they have to have a discussion. And we started in book 4. It will continue in the next book when I pick her up because she said a little bit, not a lot, not enough to heal herself, but the conversation has started. So it started. I've given her the right psychiatrist, I put her in the right room, and now we're off to the races. Now she can sort of get to a point where she can move forward with her life and with her career and get it going. So that's the challenge for me for the next book. And hopefully I can pull it off or it could go wrong. I mean, I don't know.
I skipped this book 4 just because I want to read this scene.
Well,
Oh,
see,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to read, I'm gonna have to do a cursory reading of the first book that I've already read. Then I'm gonna have to read 2 and 3 because you've already said that these things keep building on
Yep.
themselves
Yep. Yep.
book to book, and I don't want to be in book 4 and not knowing what the heck is going on.
Mhm.
So now, who decided about these one-word titles? I think it's really brilliant. The first one was Hyde, and I think they all have raindrops on them. Is that
I think
true?
so because
Yeah.
yeah.
They all have raindrops.
A couple of them take place in the middle of winter, so there's sort of a frosty thing going on. But this one
Okay.
takes place right at the edge of winter, right into spring. So it's sort of
Okay.
rainy and drizzly and blah blah blah.
Okay.
But yeah, the titles I came up with the first one, Hide. Okay,
Okay.
nice. Okay,
Mhm.
now it did well, and so now the publishing house, in being a business, they want one word is a nice title thing. So
For
it's
all the
now my
other.
brand. Okay, so
Okay.
Fall became the second, and then
Right.
Echo, and now Edge, and not
Okay.
only the one word, but the one word, 4 letters. Okay, so
Oh, well, you're
I don't know
right.
what I don't know what book 5 is going to be. I think
You're right.
I'm running out of
Let's see.
4 letter words here, but I can think of a few, but I don't think it's
Hey,
gonna look too good
No cuss word.
on a book
No
a book.
cuss words.
hey, hi, not High.
We'll see. Oh, wait, me.
Yeah.
You never
Can't do
know.
low. Low's only 3 letters.
No, no.
So, well, Tracy, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Well, thanks for
Congratulations.
having me.
Your books. And yeah, Tony Benita says she read all 4. And
Thank you, Tony.
Tony's an avid reader. I mean, she's like consumes books like you wouldn't believe. Uh, and so if she says she's read all 4 of them, then that means I need to read all 4 of them. So
Uh,
I'm only on book 1, and I've only read that one, and that's been a couple of years ago when I read that. So
hmm
I need to go back and review and then catch up with 2 and 3. But I love the one word 4 letter branding. It's great.
Yeah.
And
So far, it's
Oh,
working out.
Tony said life because Harriet finally gets it together.
Yes, I think readers are so happy that she's got somebody that she can talk to and someone she can unload all of this trauma on. And so now we can sort of get somewhere. Now we can sort of put her life together again. I like that. I'm excited about
okay, well, yeah, Tony Benita, she said life. So
it.
that's good. So anyway, thanks, Tracy.
Thank
Congratulations
you.
again. And continued success with your writing.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Okay,
night.
you too.
Great night.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.